So, yeah. Is everyone ready to start?
Yes. Yep.
All good my end.
You good, Glitch?
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Okay, so last session, we'll just say, Glitch, you were just following the group and you are now sleeping in the tavern with the rest of them, except for Riri, who is apparently sleeping on the roof.
As always.
Yeah. I didn't do it the first time.
Okay, so as the sun kind of rises up from the morning and the orange rays of the sun streak out over the rooftops of Gilead, Aiden sits in his room writing a letter to the orphanage about the troubles he is facing here. And the rest of you, Alarif, Glitch, and Hades, you guys are just busy slowly waking up from your good night's sleep, albeit a bit of an uneasy one. And Mary, you wake up probably just a slight bit earlier than the rest due to being on the roof and seeing the sun rays shine on you quite a bit earlier. So, Mary, what are you doing at this moment?
I guess I'll just be eating a what's it? What are they called? A ration? Yeah, one of the rations.
So you
And
grab
those bread.
you grab up some meat, some fruit, some almonds, and you start snacking on it on a roof. And you see below you a bunch of people walking about, going upon their daily business. Roll insight for me, Riri.
Oh no, rolling inside.
First roll.
That's a 19.
Yes.
20 minus 1.
Even from this height, you see they're acting a little bit wary of each other, looking around in the shadows, in the alleyways, looking for something as if something is off.
Like everyone's looking around.
Pretty much.
Okay then. I'm going to carefully jump from the roof. Do I have to make an acrobatics check?
Yes, please.
Oh no.
Come on. Double action.
15.
Okay.
15. And you quickly clamber down just the side of the roof. So you're on like a high bit of this tavern roof, and you've just gone onto a lower roof, and you just slid off onto the ground. And what is everyone else doing as they wake up?
I'm doing that thing. Well, I'm giving the letter to the Smil thing.
Yeah, you're gonna give the letter to Charles if he is awake, or you're just gonna see if you can find a place where you can post it.
I'm gonna talk to Charles to see if there is a place to send this letter.
And as you rub your eyes and have your letter out in your hand, you trudge down the stairs. And is Charles up or not, Hades?
Yes, Charles never sleeps.
But why is Charles even? Wait, I thought he said you what?
And you see Aiden come down the stairs with a letter in hand, and he walks up to you as you're just at the bar cleaning a cup, ready for daily business.
Is there a place where I can send this letter? Like a post office? What is it called? A mail office? Something like
it's called the post office. There's a one just down the road. Or, for no fee, I can transport it.
Sure. I trust you more than random post office.
Where's your destination?
I tell them the location of the orphanage.
Odd place, but easy to deliver. I shall be on my way.
My thanks. And I eat breakfast.
Yeah, Charles takes out some breakfast from the back. It's just some general eggs, a bit of bacon, a bit of a rough bread. And and some drink milk or orange juice, your choice.
I'll take the milk.
Yeah, you take the milk and settle down at a table to eat. Alarith, Riri, and Bai, what are you three doing as you wake up?
Probably just looking around or some shit.
Yeah,
Just looking around.
you can explore
Trying to wake everyone else.
Yeah, you can explore the
Everyone else.
corridors. You see a couple of pictures hanging up. They're kind of crudely drawn, very strange, artistic style sorts. And you come down to the main bar and you see Charles there. And yeah, he seems to be up to his normal daily routine that you've seen the past couple of days. And you also see Aiden just sitting at a table eating breakfast.
Wait, what was Aiden writing for? Like the letter? Did I miss something?
You didn't know.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Out of character, it's for the orphanage, but you don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know that. All right. I'll be the
And
last one going down. Maybe it's because late night inscribing within the spell book.
Yeah. What were you inscribing in the spell book?
Just reviewing cantrips. That's all.
Okay. Riri, what are you doing as you wake up?
Remember, I came down from the roof.
Oh, yes, the roof. And you kind of land on the ground. A couple people notice you, but not many. And you walk, I assume, right into the tavern?
Well, I was gonna talk to some of the people, like, doing the, like, weird, I don't know, weird looking around. Like, is something off?
Yeah, you can head up. There's a couple people you could head up to. So you've got a couple gnomes who are just busy talking in a group, just kind of glancing into the sides. You've got a couple people who have noticed you. Most importantly, male tabaxi with female owlin. And you also have a couple of humans who are walking around, some with kids, some with their friends.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to the Alan Baxi duo then. If they noticed me the most. Just kind of ask, is something the matter?
No. I'm not sure if you noticed. And he leans in and whispers to you, but everyone's a bit on edge around here. And he quickly just starts away and continues to walk away from you rapidly, taking the female owlin with him.
Okay, and with that, I'm just gonna turn and head back into the tavern.
And yeah, you walk past a couple people, and you just have to kind of avoid them as they just kind of walk in your path a little bit. And you...
And as I walk in, I'm just gonna wave to Charles like, "Hey, Charles, we're good."
Charles is still just dead-eyeing you.
Where's Hades? I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
Where is he?
Oh, he's just sat in a corner of a tavern, waiting.
Can I sit next to him? I'm gonna do that. I'll get to know
Bold
the new
move.
member. What the hell?
Bold move. I'm gonna give you some insight. It's coming soon.
What's coming soon?
I can't say what. All I can say is it's coming soon.
It's all coming together.
Yep.
I'm so confused.
Oh shite.
I'm gonna walk up to Charles and I'm gonna say, I need a favor. I need someone found.
Followed?
Found. Just found.
Found?
Needs a certain traitorous kobold to be found.
Okay.
You might notice back in the town, there's a annoying kobold that ran us out. He's also a cultist.
Yes, I remember. A cultist?
Yes, so he might know something.
That makes sense why he tried coughing it up. Sure, I have a few contacts. I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate it. I owe you one.
So, Alarif, what are you doing as the last person to wake up?
Oh, was I like down early enough to hear was it Aiden referring to Maven? I think.
Vark.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
Yeah, let's say that you've just kind of just started walking down the stairs and you hear the word Vark.
All right. Well, since I just caught the tail end of it, I'll just head to breakfast and yeah.
Yeah. You walk up to Charles and he brings out another plate and he gives you the option of orange juice or milk.
Orange juice, of course.
And he just passes it over to you.
Yeah. So, are we going to the detective house first or the Owlin? I say detective.
Let's say the Owlin.
The Owlin's probably still asleep. They're nobles.
Could
And
pick
plus,
them
the
up.
detective might be gone again if we don't come in the morning.
True. The owl.
Detectives are more
He
busy than
seems-
Owlins.
He seems more active at night.
Yeah, comparing to a noble, I say we go first.
Sure.
All right.
And we're a little short on cash anyway. We need that job.
Very. That's why I say we go for the Owlin.
Indeed.
What's the Owlin gonna do?
I don't know.
So let's go there.
We
First
always
thing in the
have
morning.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Agreed.
All right.
Let's go. Once everyone's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bai and Hades, are you ready to go find the detective's house?
Yep, let's go.
hmm
Yeah, and I guess the group can try and find the detective's house because you
I'm
can't
gonna ask Charles for the directions.
remind
And
Charles
of
you were told
course.
not to reveal it.
Yep. And as much as I like you guys, me and him on a personal level.
All right
Yeah.
then. Then I'll go around and investigate for the house.
Trust me, if it's just his job, I'd tell you instantly. But I kinda owe him a few.
Actually,
Well, in a way, he'll be expecting us anyway. So, and it's for business only. So we only have professional.
Nah. Oh, it's always for pleasure.
Excuse me.
What?
Keep it in your pants. That's coming from me.
Yeah, you should definitely do it. And it's coming from me, of all people.
Are you okay?
Oh, this hurts. It fucking hurts. Just get some help.
It's okay if you want to stop by. We should have it all
No,
recorded
I'm
for
okay.
you.
I am okay. I am fucking okay.
Okay. So, I guess you're joining them outside?
Look, this you've learned that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And the group makes your way outside the tavern where, of course, you see the bustling street of earlier, where everyone's just still looking around just a bit, looking at every crevice or corner as if they're expecting something.
Did something happen while we were sleeping?
they're on edge, probably.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
The
there
whole-
wasn't that.
The whole
Yeah, two
continent
guys.
is on edge.
Two guys.
Oh, what? I was gonna say the wizard duel, but something apparently.
No, it's something else. That can't be that. Yeah. Well, in any case, we're
Wait,
going to the detective's house, right? Or the Owlin? Owlin,
Yes.
right?
Detectives
how
first.
many owlins are in this place?
3 so far.
Oh,
Yeah.
the noble. Yeah.
Oh no.
You refer to it as the noble instead.
Hades is scared of birds. Well then.
Then let's go to the detective house first, if we can find it.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's leading the charge?
How are you guys
Poor
actually going
Hades.
to go about finding the detective's house? You're going to ask
Find
them?
the least like noticeable house and just walk into
We can
the
ask
most
around.
ordinary house.
Normal way.
If you haven't noticed, it's least noticeable for a reason. You don't
Yep.
notice it.
Yep.
Meaning
Hades is
it'll
afraid of
blend
birds.
in.
No. Meaning you just walk out of town because that's the least noticeable house. None at all.
That's the most noticeable house.
Oh, come on.
Or you just ask around. He is a detective after all. He's not a
Yes.
drug dealer.
Maybe
Come on.
Yes.
just find the
Someone
most
run
How-
persuasion with
how about
Charles.
looking house.
How about we
Charles
just
is
go
like,
to the?
huh?
How about we just go to the police office or any
just-
detective agency who are
Dash is
legally
over.
required to give names?
Nah,
He seems
dashes
like a
over.
very
Dashes
clandestine
over to a gnome. Just starts shaking him. Where was? Have you seen a hooded figure?
You're just going to go up to a random gnome?
Yes.
Um,
Just one that I'm like one like 5
Yeah.
centimeters taller than or something. Like just.
I also
slightly
walk
taller.
up to him. Where is the damn detective?
it takes you a little bit, and you eventually just find a gnome who eventually just walks past, and you guys just come up to him and start
What is it?
going to him and like talking about all the stuff about this detective, and he's like, what? Slow down, maybe just a bit.
The world is ending.
There are cats. It's horrible.
He's looking around and he's
I'm
like,
so good.
I don't know what you're saying.
Nah,
Exactly.
I grab the dragon card from that.
So you're taking out this card. What are you doing with
No,
it?
no, Alarith has it. He's behind us. Can't do it.
Oh.
Yell at Alarith to bring out the card.
I reluctantly hand it over.
And Riri gets this sort of red dragon card in his hand. And what are you doing with it, Harry?
Oh no, this will end badly. Wait, was it a red dragon card?
Yep, it was a red dragon card.
They don't require
On the back.
anything, do
right.
they? We can just play it, right?
Yeah, you can just buy it on the
It's
ground.
just an illusion. Yo. I'm just gonna put it in my pocket and then keep keep harassing the gnome.
Where is the detective?
You're talking about the detective who's famous around here?
The illusionist. Yes.
I'll try. If you're looking for him, I'll try looking at maybe the guards. The guards keep a little bit down that way, and he kind of points to the right down the street. It's huge. Can't miss it.
Once again, Hades was right.
That's a good idea. And I hand the random gnome 2 silver.
I take the 2 silver as we run away.
No.
Hey,
Yes.
rude much. And you just hear him yelling, shaking his fist in the air, as you guys are just busy running away.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
If ladies are afraid of birds, and that's a really bad thing because my character is like a plague doctor mask, and that's a bird mask. So I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Alarith has a bird
Oh,
familiar.
Yeah,
Raven.
and he just saw 2 ravens fight. So as you can imagine, big old boy was shaking in his boots earlier.
And yeah,
Okay, I don't think he's seen an owlin, but if he does, I bet he's screaming.
He hasn't seen
Yeah.
one yet, I don't think.
not
Yes.
yet.
Story.
Yet.
Unless he saw one in the
I mean,
backstory.
he feels like a teen.
God.
Now
A village
imagine
of
if he
Akora
does.
would be your worst nightmare.
Oh, he's about to.
Imagine when he does see an owlin.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you're just gonna follow the rest a little bit further down.
Yep, just follow the direction with my
The
extra
guard.
2 silver.
Yeah, so Riri's just got all the silver, and he's just walking down the street.
Running.
Well, running.
I'm
But
dashing,
like in a
man.
very fast walk. So imagine him just trying to act normal, but still trying to run.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you start running and roll a d20 for me, please. Perception.
Oh,
All of us.
perception? Okay.
No, just Rieri as he's running.
Good thing I have proficiency, 11.
11, and you run right past this massive stone building, and you're continuing on. And Aiden, you notice him kind of run out past this massive stone keep.
Well, there he goes. He'll
Yeah.
come back eventually. And I go to the guard office.
24 hours.
Yeah, and
Honestly, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Oh,
I ran past the guard tower.
pretty much.
wait, what?
So basically,
He'll always
Okay.
come back.
you guys are walking
Yes.
to the right, and Rieri just run right past this guard's keep. And Aiden says he's going to be back eventually.
And I walk in the guard tower.
Yeah, these guards just kind of look you over as if they're checking for something, and you walk right in. Is anyone else joining him except for Harry, who's still running?
I'll join him.
Yep, and the guards again inspect you with their eyes before just shifting their spears slightly, allowing you to pass. Bai and Hades, you two entering as well?
Yeah, he might as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys head through the open front doors into a building. Along your left side is a whole heap of different trophies, different artworks, armors. There's one specifically that kind of catches your eye, and next to it there's kind of a little plaque on the wall. And
What's the plaque says?
yeah, you walk past it and it catches your eye, and as you turn to look, you see the words Liberua Batkin inscribed on sort of this silver plaque.
Does any of us know how to translate it?
Let's go roll for intelligence, please, Alarith.
Okay. 17.
17. It's kind of two words, but you actually think it's a name as you're looking at some of the other plaques on the wall, and it kind of looks like that these actually might be the first name and last name of people.
Huh.
So you got Libra
Weird.
Butkin, you got a few others down there, like there's Alicia Hart, and you can continue down, there's a whole heap of names, all next to different items. And Riri, you finally stop running, and you look back to see where the group is, and they're gone.
Well, clearly they're ahead of me.
Yes, of course.
Yes. But because I've turned around, ahead of me is behind me.
Perfectly pop logic.
Yes, I'm just going to go over to the guard station then.
Yeah, and the guards look you over, and yeah, you eventually just get
A
let
big
in.
toothy grin at the guards.
Yeah, and they just get a little bit startled, but mostly they hold their composure. And you walk in after the rest, who are quite far away down this corridor by now, as they're sort of stepping on this sort of red carpet, heading towards a door on their right, which seems to head out to a courtyard full of greenery. There's a lot of clashing, which can be heard there, like probably the sound of swords clashing. and in front of you, you see this wooden door, and above it is like a plaque which says, "Head guards." The head guard, pretty much. Head guardsman, whatever you want to call someone who would be the head of a force like this. And the door is closed.
Right, I'll knock.
Oh,
Yeah, you start. You
Wow.
have to knock.
Wow. For once, you don't burn it.
out of character. Out of character.
And
Out of character. Boo.
you start to knock, but before your hand even hits the door swings wide open, and you see this gruff human, just kind of with a scar over the eye, this sort of brown, kind of, sort of like, let's say, chocolate brown skin and some grey hair. And they're fully cloaked in this incredibly heavy iron plate mail as they've just swung this door open, and they say, "Come in."
I
And
come in.
they swing it open, and she waits there for everyone to enter the office, and then shuts the door behind you and goes over to sit behind her desk, which is completely covered with all sorts of paperwork. There's some ink on there, there's quill, whatever you would expect in a busy office. She's like, "So what's your business doing here?"
Do you know the illusion detective's house? The house of the illusion detective?
Why do you want to know that?
We got some business with them. Official one. He said us to meet us there, but he doesn't give us the location.
Not sus at all.
Huh?
No, we're not suspicious at all.
And she stands up and kind of pushes her chair back, and she goes to the very back of the room and starts searching for this shelf until she grabs this strange parchment with all these strange words and a red seal on it. She grabs it out and lays it on the desk. "So, I'm sure you can't understand. I can't quite give that information out willingly, but have you guys ever heard of contract magic?"
Yes.
It seems self-explanatory.
Basically, you sign an agreement here that you will not disclose, you're not there to hurt him, or do any of that sort of nonsense, and I'll give you the information. Just be forewarned.
Sounds very exploitable.
Can be, but you must need the agreements of both parties to be able to break it, and breaking the terms will lead to that person's death. So I wouldn't break it.
I'll read over the specific of the clause.
It just
So I don't
says,
sign a contract with the devil.
Yeah, essentially.
And I'll make an arcana check to see if there's any hidden clause.
yeah, roll Arcana.
So do I.
And I cast guidance on myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just read it normally.
Fuck. Shit.
I'll roll it too. So, 15.
That's a 12.
So, yeah, you don't really see anything strange about this, and Alarith, you kind of notice the signature is of the illusion wizard himself. It's got some of that sort of vibe from it that you kind of got from fighting him the other day. But nothing really
So it has
suspicious.
his signature. Has his magical signature?
Yeah. It
Okay.
does.
Well,
Alright, so what's the specific? Do not harm, do not disclose.
Do not
What else?
disclose information of his house or his location. Don't disclose information pretty much just about what where the general location is. Nothing about the general location or any location whatsoever. You're not allowed to have any attempts to harm him whilst under this contract magic. And for the contract magic can only be broken if both parties agree to it. And pretty much I believe that is it. So to sign, I need just a drop of blood from each of you guys. And you
Can I
can
add-
sign your name and touch here.
Can I add a clause where I can harm him in self-defense?
Hmm.
He's not really one for fights.
Well, he just have a wizard tool last day.
No, the intent
Yes, sir.
harm is limited to the house's location.
So
And the
outside of the
surrounding
house,
area.
I'm fine.
Yeah, so as long as you don't really harm him along the sort of surrounding area of his house, which is within 1 kilometer, just the city boundaries, if you will. Well, and other than that, you'll find harm him outside the walls, but I wouldn't. He's particularly good about avoiding that sort of stuff. But yeah, the rest does not apply to the 1 kilometer clause.
Very well.
But I can mention the location of the town, right?
Well, yeah, you
If
can mention
if the range is 1 kilometer, like
No, you can mention the location of the town, but not the actual house itself. You
like
can say that he's from Kiliad, but you can't actually say where his house actually is.
Mm.
Do you understand? Anyone else?
I could mention there's a significant house within Gilead and its location. I just couldn't make mention of him within that text.
Like you can mention his like the location of like any place other than the thing. If you have any hints, then you'd be liable to falling under the contract magic terms.
I just draw my dagger, stab myself, and sign it.
Yeah,
I reach out, just slash my finger across the dagger, and then sign it as well.
yeah. You guys kind of cut this little tip of your dagger, and you start signing your names at the bottom. And as soon
Do we
as you
take
write
damage?
your name, no, it's just a small cut. You wouldn't really take damage
Okay.
from that. And as you write your name, you see it glow a brilliant blue, and sort of dig into the depths of the paper's core itself. This goes for both of you. Alarith, Bai, and Hades, are you guys going to write your names?
Do
Yep.
I know? Do I know if it can be nullified, the contract magic?
It can be.
Only,
Like
if,
specifics?
only if both parties agree.
What a wish spell.
Yeah. What is there? Like, is there other?
We
are there
just
other
discussed the wish spell.
ways? Like spells and like any rituals and stuff. Like, is it possible?
Dispel
No,
magic.
it's
No.
all blood pact magic. So it can't be broken by wish spells, unfortunately.
Ooh.
So making one of these is serious business.
Yeah, these things. This is excessively permanent, so I'm very like worried of signing anything.
We can break
Well,
it.
I mean, we only really needed one person to sign it because
No,
guiding
all of-
someone to the location is different from telling someone the location.
But you still know where it is if you don't sign
Yeah. So we could just like go mute and then just walk towards the location. It's not our fault if you follow.
Right.
Unfortunately, did I remember to mention that section? Like, since you can't tell anyone the locations, that unfortunately falls under the guise of telling them the locations if they kind of follow and you're aware of them in any sort of way. And they're not under the contract magic. You're free to lead anyone who's under contract magic in there.
There's some serious contract magic.
Well,
Who
no.
the fuck this guy is?
Yeah, I know, right? I know the location now, don't I? Because I signed the contract.
Not yet. I'll tell you after everyone makes the contract.
Well, in that case, Hades is biting the end of his thumb off and signing that.
You gonna
Use
actually
this
try to bite
dagger.
your whole thumb off, or are you just saying that?
Nah, just the end.
Yeah, you bite a little bit into your thumb, and you draw a tiny sliver of blood that you start just kind of swiping off on your fingers and start writing on the paper. And again, it glows blue and digs into the core of the paper itself. Bai and Alarith, you guys making the contract magic, or are you guys just gonna leave?
All right, let's not waste time. Okay, I just slashed the tip of my finger and start writing.
Yep. And again, as I said before, it digs into the core of the paper itself. Bai, you doing it as well?
I think we're dead.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Would not be good.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I think Hades is just kind of looking at everyone confused on why they use a dagger.
But no.
Why would you use your teeth?
I don't,
Sharper.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening
I
right
think
now.
they're like a bit
More
blunt.
effective.
Confused.
So you guys are signing contract magic, and pretty much you can't disclose the location of Libero's house in any way. And you can't harm him within the city walls.
Unless you want to see your god.
Pretty much, unless you want to die. If you break the contract magic,
Wait.
you die.
Why would it matter to a monk?
Was what?
Why would it matter to a monk? Death
I mean,
is kind of a thing they accept.
True. I mean, if you're so eager to go to the few plane. Which is
yeah, but if you're a good guy monk, that would mean you can't help anyone else if you're dead.
true.
I mean, depends.
Death is a temporary
You
state.
going to sign? I guess we'll just continue going, and after everyone finishes signing their sheets on the sheet of paper, you see the sort of contract just kind of rip itself up and vanish in a puff of blue smoke, and the smoke slowly drifts away. Yep, I guess that is done. So I guess I should show you you guys the location, shall I?
Mm-hmm.
Follow me. And she starts heading off to basically just through the corridor again, through the red carpet, and out the door where the guards just quickly nod to her as she passes. She nods back respectfully. And she takes an alleyway route, thin alleyway, and starts heading through it. It's a bit dirty, there's poles in the way, there's planks. Roll acrobatics, everyone.
Oh no.
Um,
Can I guess
What?
guidance on myself?
Sure.
14.
Okay.
Was it acrobatics?
Acrobatics, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
I got disadvantage. That's a 4. That is a 4.
I got a 3.
I got
Oh,
14. Alara just absolutely popped off.
I'm basically an
Yeah.
old man with arthritis.
Monks are supposed to be like really high acrobat
I
dexterity.
need to be a goddamn cleric man so I can get proficiency in heavy armor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anyone who got less than, let's say, 5, you guys are kind of struggling behind.
Well then.
Guys are struggling.
Half the party
Don't
be
involve
like,
me in this. I don't know what the fuck is happening, right?
Uh,
oh, you're back.
Yeah, we're just rolling acrobatics. So you guys have all just signed contract magic at the moment. So basically, no mentioning or Libera's house location,
Roll it for
and
me.
no harming him within the walls. Otherwise, you will die.
Wait, so those are under 5 got
Roll,
what?
just roll it for me, okay?
Whoever's yeah, just roll acrobatics, please.
what?
Just
I
glitch.
got
So anyone who got under 5, you guys are just kind of struggling to make your way through here. You're clattering over like a bunch of things. There's other people who are using this small alleyway as well, and you accidentally, Aiden, I believe you got less than 5, so you kind of
Yes.
clatter into the stuff, and it goes.
Don't forget
careening.
me.
What did I
Like
It was a
Goliath
dwarf.
just charging his way through.
What
God
did
damn
I
it.
get? Is it above or below 5?
Yeah, but anything below 5.
Okay,
Don't
roll.
forget me.
Yeah, I can roll for you. And you succeed easily, and you're continuing with the rest of the group. And
I'll ready a
Right
ray of
then.
frost spell. The trigger is anyone who's hostile.
yeah.
This is dumb. I'll go to the ethereal realm and follow them through in the ethereal realm.
Oh
so
my!
you're just
that's it.
halfway stuck in here, and you just really just give up after this dwarf and goes, "Oi, you there? Watch it!" And he looks
Sorry
away.
about that. And I begin to disappear.
Yeah, and you vanish as he looks away. And
Wait, I have
roll
a question.
stealth, please, Aiden. If you are you trying to hide this?
No, not at all.
No.
People already know I can do this anyway.
Yeah, so you definitely see someone's eye glint and look back at you. But you guys continue on taking a right turn this time as you go past some more people. And you continue following this fairly agile guard as they make their way over like this little path that goes slightly over the rooftops. And you're still following from the Ethereal realm, so you can just walk right through the houses.
Yep.
And
Have to roll.
all caught back up as you guys head over this roof and down into there's probably this sort of like street which is probably only 1 meter wide. It's not a particularly big street. There's a couple people out. It's not particularly busy here, especially compared to the main street. And you reach a little old wooden house. And someone very noticeable stands outside who you've actually met before.
Oh.
Anyone want to take a guess as to who it is?
Varric.
Alan?
Varric.
No, it's not the Owlin, it is not Varric. Alarith?
Damn it.
Who have we met? I don't know. Libra?
Ah, the merchant. The shady merchant.
The what?
No.
Oh
The
yeah,
shady.
wait.
Oh yeah, the shady merchant.
Oh, the
Yeah.
merchant that like met with Ryan, right?
Yeah, that disappears when the Auron came.
Yeah, that everyone talked to.
That's very greedy.
Now I have one.
Yeah? Tell me your guess.
Yeah, that.
So, basically,
Hades?
you guys see the wizard
Uh-huh.
who was originally with who Charles Smooth talked back
Oh.
in
Oh.
the town of Dengar.
Oh yeah, him.
Oh yeah, that guy.
And he's standing in all his kind of rich robes with the white, and he stands there outside Liberal's house, keeping an eye on you guys
Right.
as you walk forward. And the guard's like, this is his house. I trust you need no introductions, and they just take off and start heading out a different route.
God damn it, I want to ask her a question.
Yeah, you can try and ask her a question as she's moving away.
Okay. Hey, do you know where to get one of those contract things? By any chance?
Kind of expensive. You probably won't see them too much around here unless you know someone who has them, or you're rich, pretty much. So,
Someone is very.
Alright, I'll ask Charles about it.
I wouldn't say you would see any more. And
Fair enough.
You see the elven wizard who protected Aleph a little while ago just walk forward. Welcome.
Owlin.
No, not the
No.
Owlin. It's the wizard
Elven.
who protected Aleph that Charles speaks.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh yeah.
so, hello guys. I believe it
Hey.
is time to bring you to Aleph.
After I talk to the detective.
He's not
After
here
we
at the
talk to the
moment.
detective. God damn
He's
it.
not.
And he brings up 2 fingers and beckons for you to follow him. And he starts striding, like, in this most elegant stride possible. He strides, like, further along the street. Come on!
What's the spell called? The striding spell?
It's not a spell. It just
Long
No,
Strider?
there is one
Long
though.
Strider is this
Long
Long
Strider.
Strider, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
do that.
there is a spell for like long strides, but he's just kind of walking in long strides
Yeah.
very elegantly. He's like, "Come on,
What?
don't leave Alith waiting. She would
Okay.
be very pleased about that."
I'll
Let's
go over
go
to
with it.
Lareth and say, "We might, I know, send your crow to that house. Maybe he's lying. Who knows?"
All right. Is there a chimney or like a hole like on top of his roof, on the roof of the house?
The roof is kind of burnt, so yeah, you can see your crop there, and they land on the roof, and you can see it just kind of moving, shuffling its feet as it gets soot all over its just kind of feet. Looks around and it sees a small little crack in the roof, but sees another layer of wood. And
Oh,
it doesn't really seem like it can see in very
can
easily.
is it possible for the crow to burrow somewhere like fragile, so like poke a hole through? Should be possible.
Yeah, roll strength for the crow.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Should be
Is
an
it a
extra-
-4?
It should be an extras tab for you.
I'm sorry. What?
Alarif, it should be an extras tab for the raven. So just roll strength.
-4. Here we go.
Oh god.
Oh no.
And yeah, it's trying to poke through here, but it's kind of got a small beak. Even though it's kind of sharp, it's not really making too much of a dent.
All right.
It flies back to you and your feet.
All right. I'll just tell him to shadow us from above again.
Yeah, and it flies back up into the sky. And it's floating
Oh.
above you guys.
So I don't know where the owlet lives, right?
Yeah, you do not know.
Fuck. I'm gonna, yeah, alright then.
Let's just follow him. See what he-
Alright.
And he was turned around waiting for you guys. And you guys just start walking after him as he slowly takes another right, another left, and starts walking up these beautiful sort of marble-like stairs as you guys see this small mansion like kind of buried into the side of the mountain from earlier. And he's like,
Mm.
"Come on, you guys." And he stands outside the door. "I expect you guys to behave properly when you meet Alith again. Chin up,
So,
introduce yourself with a smile." And
I'm just gonna do a little bow and then like look up and smile.
"Very well done, Mary. What about the rest of you? You all know how to act?"
Of course,
Sure.
of course.
Hades just kind of looks around in the most tattiest clothes you've probably ever seen.
And he just kind of puts his hands on his head. It's like, oh. "Well, this is going to be interesting." And he swings open the door and holds it for you guys. And with his left hand, he beckons you in.
Hey, young lad, do you mind telling me what time it is?
It's probably early morning. I would say around 9 p.m.
10 p.m.
Okay.
PM.
PM.
Okay, I got it.
A.M.
I was like, damn.
The boy's a little bit addled. Well, let's go.
You mind telling me when it hits 12? Thank you.
Sure. I can do that for you. And are you guys all...
Oh, I thank you.
Yes,
And he
I'm walking.
bows and he's like, "You're welcome." And who's hitting him first?
I'll walk in first.
And Aiden starts
I'll walk in last.
striding in through the open door,
I'm beside
and
Aiden. Yeah.
the carpet is sort of luxurious as Alarith, Riri, and Hades walk behind Aiden. And behind you, you see the wizard attendant kind of shut the door and follow hurriedly after you and open the next door. This way. And he starts leading you up this beautiful spiral staircase. And you guys slowly head up as you see this beautiful sort of crystal and glass chandelier above you. And you enter through a door. And in there you see Alith just kind of chilling there, politely, hands on her sort of lap. And she is waiting there just with her eyes closed. She's like, "Ah, Batkin." And just dips her head. "I see you have been our visitors. Come on in. Don't be shy."
Morning.
Greetings.
Afternoon.
Can I do an insight check to see the owl's overall mood?
Yeah, row insight.
I'm gonna cast guidance too. Come on. Okay. 20
Nice.
plus 20 plus 1, 21.
So you she seems kind of calm, but she seems like this needs to be conducted in a fairly wealthy sort of manner.
So her normal self then.
Pretty much. Seems fairly normal at this point.
He doesn't seem too bothered by what's outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to gauge. Alright
This
then.
cat's here too.
All right. So what was our goal again? Let's
Just
Okay.
talk to her.
Yeah,
to talk
Yeah.
to her about her brother and
yeah. It was
Yeah.
to talk about her brother. Sit down, please.
So, yeah.
Action. Hades runs out the room for pretty obvious reasons. After sweating bucket loads, he books it out that room.
And yeah, like
He doesn't bother to open the doors. He goes through the doors.
and you see the wizard just quickly grab out a cuff and some manacles and just clip them on your wrist as you're trying to go past. And roll strength if you're gonna try and resist.
You bet he's gonna try and resist.
oh,
This should be easy.
Fucking shit.
Natural 20.
Natural 20!
A 20.
I got a 19!
Oh.
He's raging.
oh man.
He's raging as a monk.
Nothing is stopping him.
And he just decides to quickly open the door as you run straight out and down the spiral staircase, and he's just got his eyes wide open and he just kind of
Oh, don't worry. I don't run down the stairs. I jump down the stairs.
Okay, it's 10 foot, so you take 1 damage as you fall down these stairs.
He does
in a
not
heap.
pay attention.
And you just kind
Inner
of
peace,
fall
spiritual
flat.
enlightenment, and running away.
And you continue. Are you going to continue running?
I think he's gonna run into a wall and calm down.
Okay. Actually, in front of you, I'm actually going to roll a d4 to see if there was a wall. And
This is the
yeah,
best.
like as you see, like the very bottom of the staircase go up, you kind of drop down and you're still in a blind panic and you run straight forward, just straight into the wall underneath the stairs. And you like face plant straight into the walls and you end up on your back, just kind of looking at the very beautiful ceiling above. It's
Is there birds on it?
no birds. Luckily for you.
Do we follow him?
Thank God.
No.
Now I would do.
We just all just watch that and then just turn back.
Yes. Because when you see an 8-foot Goliath running, I don't think you want to follow him.
Hey, could I have some money to pay for his medical bill?
No. I think we'll just leave him. It wasn't particularly him I was meaning to talk to anyway. So,
Yes. So, about hydras, and I'm just going to pull out the tooth.
yes.
So what are you gonna...
May you pass it
I don't
over
know.
here, just quickly.
Yeah.
But
You didn't want it last time.
sorry,
Then just gives it over.
she just quickly picks it daintily off your hand and looks at it. And as Bartkin turns and bows to leave, she's like, "No, stay, please. I'll need your help with this." And beacons him over as he stands behind Archie and is everyone else sitting down on the couch?
I'll
Standing
I
up.
sit down and I'll say that thing is from the Shadow Realm as I sit down.
Wait, did we find that out?
Wait, no, that
No,
was the
I-
ethereal realm.
No, I find it out. No. Aiden, before Envy died, Aiden knows what that is. And since I'm playing as him, I know what that is.
Oh, okay.
And
Wait, so was the Hydra from the ethereal realm or?
No.
No, from the Shadowfell. That's why Aiden is panicking.
Oh, okay.
And she just quickly speaks it over, just very daintily looking at it, making sure not to damage it. And she beckons to Bartkin, who looks over it as well. And he hands it back to Aleph, who hands it back to the group. This is rather concerning. I'm sure you've seen everyone on edge recently.
Yes. Still in distress.
It's been an interesting time here, but could you explain to me how my brother died? All the events that transpired, please, would be helpful.
Very well. It
There
all
were
started with a
5.
cat.
Okay, let's discuss what do we leave out.
We're not leaving anything out. There were 5
Nothing.
portals. 4 heads came through. One of them killed him.
Yeah, rather simple.
And
Yeah, and then I took the tooth.
and
after,
he was and for some reason there was demonic cats, or maybe not demonic, but cats that have certain abilities.
Were they related? I don't think so.
He summoned the Hydra after the cats leave.
True.
And she just kind of rubs her chin. I never thought my brother would be a cultist. And you just
It could have been a coincidence. The portal showed up without him as well.
He also mentioned the Great Old One.
the great old one, and you see her just
The
kind of
great old
flinch at
one.
that.
Hmm.
She's like, I see. Well, at the moment we are investigating a series of incidents like that around the country. But I see Denver wasn't doing a particularly great job at that. However, we've recently have a job available, if you will.
Oh,
And
what kind?
Who just pokes up at that?
Well, you'll get paid. So basically, we have a job. Bartkin here can fill you in a little bit on your way, as he shall be your supervisor for this mission if you guys accept it.
Do we accept? I say yes.
I'd accept.
Who will be our advisor? Be a wizard?
Bartkin,
No, wait, Libra?
the elf.
The characters fucked. The wizard or who's Bumpkin?
You
Yeah,
guys have seen a human Bartkin, not an elf Bartkin. Like, Libra was human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is an elf.
Right.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, this is the one that cast shield and ray of frost in the fight with guards, right?
Oh, this was the one that cast, like, the barrier to protect the lift.
Oh, that wasn't shield.
There was some sort of barrier or shield. I'm not entirely
Okay.
sure. But
Fine.
Bartkin will take you through it. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And I believe you guys will be paid handsomely. No.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. You may go. You may go.
All right.
And as you're leaving Iden, she goes, and Iden,
Yes, I slowly look back.
I believe you owe us for the mansion that was burnt down in the Invar, and the other house as well.
Well, your brother killed.
He was grief stricken.
Your brother killed my twin, so I was justified.
First one maybe, but the second one? Nope.
I burned a second.
Yeah, the Goblin
The
House.
Goblin House. Which was quite
Oh,
close
that
to other
one.
buildings.
It's just a random goblin.
Yes, but
The second one wasn't him.
The goblin also lied to you. I might add.
So, it damaged other houses as well once that fire got out of control, Mr. Arsonist, and you do need an incentive not to do this. And again,
I
so
only retaliate.
you guys, I believe you, Aiden, have 50 gold to pay up, which should be the amount of gold you shall be gaining from this endeavour. And once you've paid that off, you're free to do what you wish and leave the borders if you will.
Medieval community service.
So 50 gold is for a house burn down. Interesting.
No, two.
I'll keep that in mind.
Hmm.
As Aiden murmured to himself.
Only for this first one. I believe you shall find a job difficult enough and of great importance to us. So, I
Sure.
believe 50 gold should suffice.
Sure.
Hades now just casually walks in like nothing happened.
I get. Oh, I have my inventory. I get like a bedroll and just put it over Hades' eyes. Like, don't look.
Don't worry.
No. Let him look. Exposure therapy.
Oh, don't worry. He got knocked out in the process.
And what are you guys doing as Bartkin kind of gestures for you to follow him?
I'm gonna take a 10-minute break.
That's
So, yeah.
great. So everyone just want to take a break now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we'll just
Sure.
do a
Yeah,
10-minute break.
why not?
Nah, I use all 3 charges of the Ring of the Solace and go back 3 minutes. Let's go.
So yeah, I've paused the stream at the moment. Just muted it. So how's the session going so far? Yeah. It's a little bit chaotic. I think I might have given something away, unfortunately. Yeah, blood pact magic. You'll see that quite often now. Just in general. But yeah, you guys are gonna get filled in by this elf who is called Batkin. Oh. Which one? Libra or Batkin or Batkin? The elf. So you got the elf and you got the human. The human is the one that Charles talked with. And then you got the elf. Any of them. True. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, someone got on his bad side. Not a good idea. You'll probably be seeing someone. A couple of people you've already seen again. But no, it seems like an important mission for you guys at this point. It's so much that they're willing to waive most of Aiden's costs for doing the burning, his arsonist episodes. That's if you come across a Hydra again. I just gotta remember what I was thinking about, because basically I pretty much know like the whole. I could take you guys anywhere in the whole entire city, because I pretty much got a full mental map of the whole entire city of what it looks like completely. Takes me a while to do, but huh? But no, you guys. I'm just waiting on Aiden and Alarith to get back. Oh! Alarith! He's already here! Ah! What am I supposed to do? It is. There's a thing everywhere. It's basically to do with like the sun and the sun setting. Yeah, I guess. That's probably why all my players from Australia are out of time at the moment. So, you back?
Doesn't do it, and I think we're going back to normal time.
I never even heard what daylight saving is until now.
Okay, I'm going to be switching back in a second. And
Yeah.
here we go.
Just some places in the world decided they wanted to follow the sun more than normal.
Yeah, so Libra is human and Bartkin is elf. And Bartkin like sort of beckons you to follow him.
Okay.
Is everyone
follow.
following him out?
Yes.
Hades?
He's taking breakfast or something. Grabbing breakfast.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh well, he didn't do that during the 10 minutes, but yeah, you guys start following him. And so the mission details. Well, apparently Alif wants you to work with me, but quite frankly, I don't believe you guys can keep up.
Well, frankly, I don't believe you can cast Ray of Frost.
Well, if you guys are going to come with me on the mission, I shall see that you guys are properly prepared. And you start taking a more direct route back to the main sort of road. And Hades, are you here? Apparently still getting breakfast.
Roll for Alan.
But no, you guys slowly make your way back. What are you guys talking about with Vatican as you guys are heading back to the main street?
So,
Why is
do you
everyone
notice
on
that?
edge?
Oh, that.
On edge? Hard question. It's the guards. They're on edge. So everyone's on edge.
Yeah, why is that?
It kind of happened overnight.
Yeah, we haven't
No.
received a straight answer since the 3 times we asked.
They seem to be preparing something.
Well, that's the gist of it. But they've been preparing for quite a while. But it's not particularly something I can discuss. I'm under contract at the moment with, with a few
So just
people.
write it on those napkins.
Unfortunately, I cannot do that. As you probably are aware, considering I found you at Liberua Botkin's house, that you have already seen a little bit of contract magic in play. Am I right?
Yeah.
So who might know that is not under contract magic? Can you disclose that?
About which?
The everyone unease and preparing for something, the gods?
Well, technically, the people who know about it are all under contract magic at this point. So,
Every single person in the town?
The
no,
entire
not
town?
everyone. Only the people who were told, including me. Alif, the guards keeper, pretty much main guard, head guard, whatever you want to call it. It's been
I see.
problematic lately. Everyone on edge.
Okay.
But yeah. Hades? And he's still not back. So I guess we're doing some more talking as we head through because I can't actually reveal anything else until we get there.
Well, in
Well,
that case,
So,
until Hades gets back, pretty much.
you can make walls.
Walls?
Walls, barriers.
Yeah. It's
They seemed a little different to other spellcasters I've seen make similar things.
definitely not a shield spell.
my
That's
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what
my
we said.
spells are a bit unusual, to say the least. They don't behave like regular spells. As you guys head over to the guards' keep, and the guards just again look everyone over as you guys head inside, and they nod to Bartkin as you guys enter in through the main area, and you guys start heading forward through the thing, and some guards who are just chilling in the hallways, just talking, now just nod their heads at Bartkin as he leads you through the right-hand door on the way to sort of the main guard's sort of office, and you guys take a right into a massive training courtyard. There's a lot of grass everywhere, some small overhangs, so where the keep kind of goes right over the grass to provide some shade, and there's a whole host of guards just practicing in here. Some staring against each other, others practicing with bows. And there's very few people who are using spells. One, to be exact. So, here we are. And he walks you over to one of the unoccupied areas in the right-hand corner. And he passes a couple of guards who just kind of salute to him. And you kind of see his disguise just kind of dropping off as he just turns to look at you and he's like, well then, let's get started. And in front of you, you see the Libero Batkin. And it happens to be that these two are the same person.
Huh? Wait, they're the
That's a-
same.
Yep, it's this
They're
guy.
just the same person.
Yep, same person. Two Batkins.
Is this supposed to be like a common thing? Everyone knows this?
What?
People here, yeah, they do. So basically, Hades, for a bit of a recap, you guys have just headed into the right-hand side of the keep where all the guards were all fighting, and he's brought you over to the right-hand side, and his disguise is dripped off, revealing that Batkin, the elf, is actually Libero Batkin, the human. And the guards pay very little heed to this. He's like,
Okay.
well, I guess let's get started. And he's all back in his original clothes with his cloak, and he tosses off his cloak. And you see the bandages all wrapped around his wrists. He's like, so, quite frankly, I really don't think you guys are up for the job at the moment.
Sure.
Yes, as I said earlier. And for your job, on officially, we are heading to sort of the Moon Festival at the very edges of the border in the Forest of Eves.
Do I know what that is? Do I even know what that is?
Yeah, you can try rolling. Let's go history, please.
History. I'm gonna cast guidance too. I don't think it's just in case. Just in case. 22.
22, you've heard of it. It's kind of on the very outskirts of this land. It's like the place where Aleph kind of rules over, if you will. And it's in a fairly big forest, and Libero continues. It's a big event. Officially, we are there to observe and to participate in the events. It's something the city does every year to keep up good relations with the locals. But unofficially, we shall be investigating a group of spellcasters who's come through there recently. No IDs, no badges. Though we must keep this secret from them. If the George found out we were going after some of the spellcasters there during the Festival of Moons, which unfortunately is the only time we believe we'll be able to catch them, we could be in some severe trouble.
Are they casting specific type of magic, or are they just a group of spellcasters? Are they necromancers or
The
something?
Moon Festival they worship the god Selune,
Oh,
the god of the
interesting.
moon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
yes.
Hmm.
What is the suspected? What do you suspect these spellcasters to be doing? Rituals?
These spellcasters, yes, we suspect rituals, but one of the worst things is we don't know where they came from. They don't seem to be from any of the neighboring regions, or even this region. It seems just a bit odd, honestly.
Wait, okay, let me clarify.
Aiden,
So
how many twins are there like you?
I'm a rare breed. I'm an anomaly essentially. There are ethereal, but they don't bound to each other.
Okay.
I mean, just look at this perspective. How many twins do you know? And how many twins do you know that also have magical shit?
Ah, fair.
Winds from another plane. Mm,
Yes, also that.
that is rare. Yeah.
And also a satyr.
Sad.
So, yeah, we've got a pretty big issue, and it's likely we will face plenty of spellcasters, so your group is going to need to know how to deal with them. Laugh, would you come over here for a second, please?
All right.
Laugh, just come over
Yeah, I
here
do.
for a second.
Yep,
Ne-
I do so.
And he's like, so, you guys, a bit of a quiz. Let's see what you all know. Out of the two of us, let's say we were equal strength, used the exact same spells, pretty much everything, except I have 2 daggers and he has longer range spells than me. If we started at 60 feet, who would win?
The one that have the longer range spells, Alaris.
Yeah, we can always keep the same distance away from each other because assuming both of us move at 30 feet per 6 seconds.
Barry?
It would be the longer range spells, but you could always just run towards someone then throw the dagger. Depends on initiative for the dagger throw. But
Hades?
yeah, it's longer range spells, man.
What do you think?
Depends on the spell. If the spell is naturally in range, then equal advantage here.
Yeah.
If obviously one spell is
they're
much
equal strength.
shorter.
It's whoever wins initiative.
Yeah, whoever strikes first.
Most cantrips are more powerful than a dagger.
Well,
Yeah.
let's say that, Alarith, if you move 60 feet away from me, please.
Okay, and then I run.
Make sure you don't hurt him.
I won't. Not like last time, anyway.
Okay.
I can heal him if you do.
So
Take it
say if
easy.
No,
I,
mate.
Take it easy on me.
say if I had the
Oh,
advantage
okay.
here, I could sprint in, correct? Say if he were to fire out a spell at his max range, which is 60 feet. So
Right.
he fires off a spell, and Alarith, what would you do now? After firing
So
off
he
a spell?
fire off a spell.
Yep, so just pretends he fires off like a long range spell, just for show. So what would
Okay,
you do
then,
now, Alarith?
Well, depending on the AC, depending on whether or not he hits me, if it hits, I'm going to take a reaction for a shield.
Yeah,
Shield
so
spell.
let's say you get one hit, and you're just staying there, just gonna cast a reaction shield spell.
Basic tactic: throw a spell when going close range.
Well, I
If
have a
one
pretty
is-
good
Cantrips beat out dagger. Like 1d10 beats out 1d4 plus 2. Usually.
And let's say for my turn, I dash in 60 feet if he has not moved. Then next turn I would be in range, correct? And he could just keep his shield up. But now it would be Alarith's turn. And of course, he wants to stay at range, correct? Because he has longer range spells than me.
Yes.
So Alarith, what would you do here?
A basic attack cantrip, and then go back 60 feet.
Aha.
It's 30 feet of
Yes.
movement normally.
Oh, 30. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so let's say
Angle
if I were to
opportunity.
take that 30 feet of movement, as soon as you would go to move out, I would attack because that's an
Reaction.
opportunity attack.
Yes.
As soon as you
And
move out of range. And next,
And also, Alaris, your range would be a disadvantage.
Yeah. You'd have to move first.
Yeah. Move first, and then. Actually, no. You can cast the cantrip first before moving.
yeah,
No,
you
I
can
mean,
cast
Yeah,
it
you're,
first.
you're at disadvantage.
If it's a range spell, then it's a disadvantage.
Yeah. I mean, you just cast one that uses a saving throw.
All right. So, move back 5 feet, and then shoot, and then go back 25 feet.
Yep, and he would take one opportunity attack from there. And then for my next turn, I can just walk up because I don't need to sprint. And considering we should have 2-weapon fighting, and if I were to have 2 daggers, I can slash out with my first one, and then I can slash out with my next one. And what's happened here? I've gotten up to 3 attacks, and he's only at 2. And I can also use my interaction with just an object, but just the one. So basically, what you can do is you're taking an attack, you can like drag out something like sand and attack with it during it. As
So they cast sleep and win on the first round.
Yes, it could cast sleep, but let's just say we're just doing combat and spells just to make it simple. I can also do that, so now I've used way more actions than him, and every time he tries to move away, I'm going to continuously go forward. And eventually I'm going to have more attacks than him in a shorter time.
Well, he made the mistake of not moving after he first attacked.
Yes.
No, because they dashed the first one.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I mean, once they're in range, you can just use saving throw spells.
So what happens, it makes it a lot more difficult to deal with a wizard who's prepared, has got daggers on them, and other tricks up their sleeve than a wizard without.
Well,
But they're also very squishy.
Yes.
Yes.
This is why this only really happens in wizard fights.
Indeed.
yeah, but in reality, that's never going to happen because,
Yeah.
well, a wizard is a force multiplier. We don't exactly fight alone.
Yep. But the thing is, we're probably going to be fighting a lot of wizards, so it's likely you'll get into a wizard versus wizard combat. Same with the rest of you.
All
It's
right,
good to
then
know how to
I'll
deal
ask
with
you
things.
this: should I stick to
Can't
my
wait to
spells?
fight.
Should I stick to my spells, or should I use animal form?
So, well, it really depends. If you're the strongest spellcaster, you have the range, definitely stick with your spells as you'll eventually win out most likely. But
Well,
if you can get into
I can-
close range combat and do damage that way, it's going to be a lot more effective.
Well, my guiding bolt is 120 feet, so I guess I'll stick on right range.
So you're probably going to be better for long range combat. But I did prepare these, and he takes out of his cloak and passes like the small pouch to Alarith.
What's in it? I open it.
Yep, you peek in it, and it's like a pouch full of sand. Keep that just on your hip. It's got to be easy reach, and if you ever need to make some sort of dagger attack or get someone away, you can actually use that whilst making an attack.
What, throwing sand in my eyes?
Yep.
So is
pretty
it
much.
reaction then?
So
It is a
no,
valid
it's
tactic.
actually so you've got interaction with an object, which is like full body interaction. Then you also
So that's an
have
action.
a different.
Yeah.
Is it a bonus action? Or-
No,
It's
an action.
technically a bonus action that you can take whilst attacking someone, where you can actually just like. So let me quickly just read it out here because this is a little bit hard to do. So interact with an object. So you can draw a shield for sword, open and close a door. You can pick up a bauble from a table. Just like small interactions, nothing too major as you're attacking.
I see.
So it counts as a bonus action, not an action?
Yeah, it technically counts as a bonus action.
Yeah, counts as a bonus action.
So a very useful trick for you guys to know. And let's see how what your sort of abilities are, so we all know. And you see this target jump me from one of the guards just kind of brings out. It's like, Leroy, is this where you want it? He's like, yep, thanks. And he just kind of salutes and he just heads off to continue training. So, who wants to go first?
So we go all out then?
Yep, all out.
All right, then I'll go first. Okay, so I'm going to use my wild shape to cast a starry form, and I'm gonna form an archer, a constellation of an archer.
Yep.
And then using that, I'm going to cast guiding bolt using my not wild shape, using my my something feature. I don't know what his name. Okay, and I'll use guiding bolt. So do I also hit?
Yep, roll to hit.
Come on. That's a 15. It's a dummy after all.
And you see them just kind of glide around and go boom, 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 straight into the dummy. And you see it might be enchanted to resist attacks.
I deals 11 damage, and now the dummy is glowing because I cast guiding bolt, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to shoot up an arrow using starry form with advantage
Okay,
because
roll
I
to
have
hit.
guiding bolt. Advantage, so that's a 17
Yep, and that hits.
and dealing 8 damage.
Yep, and you see this sort of sparkle of stars appears as it bursts straight into the dummy. It's like, good. Next! Who wants to go next?
All right, I'll go next since we're spellcasting, starting off.
Yep.
And oh man. Okay.
Also, I want to see your
cast-
close range combat as well, Larif. Start with long range, then close range, please.
Close range combat. I'll be very, very good at this.
I am terrible unless I'm an animal.
And yeah, I have
That's
minus
both your wild
1d8
shapes if you do
minus
that.
1.
Yeah.
All right, so I cast ray. No, not ray. Chromatic orb since we're going all out,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's going to be lightning damage.
And 15 hits, and you see this massive lightning bolt kind of streak out from your hand as you kind of thrust your hand forward. And you see it just glow a slight blue as it bursts straight into the target dummy, leaving this small char on it, which quickly fades away.
That is a good dummy.
Yeah, it's
That's a really durable dummy.
specifically enchanted to resist damage. It takes a lot to break it.
I wonder if someone has the idea of like just stripping off the outer layer of the dummy which is enchanted and then wearing it.
We've had someone
that'll be-
try before. Unfortunately,
Exactly,
it
yeah.
uses a magic core.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, place it on a golem then.
Oh yeah, artificer. That's a thing.
Mhm.
Yes. I should know that. And
All right, so
it's close
I'm
range
moving.
combat now?
Yep, I move in with a quarterstaff after pocketing the gem from the chromatic orb back to the component pouch.
Yeah.
And,
Alarif, do you have two simple weapons on you? By any chance?
Yep, I have a quarterstaff.
Okay, it's only one, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
So let me
take the
roll.
spear dagger. It'll allow you to do two weapon fighting.
All right. Let me just add it to my inventory.
Yep, and you can have both weapons out and ready to go.
Dagger. Add 2, right? Yeah.
Just one. He's just giving you one
Oh,
since
just
you already have one simple weapon.
All right. Equip. Okay. And then, all right. So, and then I attack the dummy with the dagger straight to the neck. Let's see.
Yep, roll hit.
It's like 18.
Yep, that hits. And you slash straight into the dummy, and the dummy quickly stitches itself up. And you get a fairly good, slice through it. And for the second attack for two weapon fighting, remember not to add your modifier.
Yeah. Unless you have the feet. And not the feet, the thing.
So, okay. So I'll have to buy another dagger later on, right?
Yeah, you've got two simple weapons, so you can actually use your staff, unless it's two-handed.
I think
It's
Don't
both
boss staff
one-handed and
two-handed?
two-handed.
Yeah, if it's not
Maybe.
two-handed, you can use your staff as well.
All right. It's bludgeoning damage, so.
Yep. And you whack
Oh, wait,
it.
no. Yeah. Wait, should I roll to hit? With the
Yes.
Yeah,
second...
roll to hit.
Yeah.
You gotta roll hit.
-1 damage.
That's so good.
Same, man. Same, honestly.
Oh no. And you just
Oh,
kind of
it's amazing.
strike it and it moves back. It's like. By the way, Larif, if you've already have your weapons out, remember that you can actually use the sand if you've got it just on your belt in an easy to reach location to blind them.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm just not doing it on the dummy.
Okay. I believe. Riri?
Hades' turn.
Hades?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
Yes,
see.
Hades.
Now, wait, I'm gonna ask Riri and Hades. Do you get any range? Some spell? No, not spells. Range stuff.
I just pull out a
Hades?
javelin, instantly throw it.
Roll to hit.
Do you?
That's a 7.
A 7! So you roll to hit it and you throw it right over the wall nearly, and you hear just like this clang as it hits the very top of the wall and just kind of clatters and rolls right back down off like sort of the bow, like the bow. I don't know what it's called.
I guess that's another one
Okay.
gone.
And it literally rolls right back down and falls on the ground next to the dummy, and Libro's just kind of looking at you, and he's like, yeah, maybe just a bit of aiming practice.
Oh well. Hades, do you have any range?
Any ranged? Yes. Ice knife.
Alright then. Then I won't give the detectable dagger to any of you then. I muttered myself.
Okay. So, what were you doing again?
Okay. So I just kind of zoned out. So it's
yeah.
ranged first, correct?
Yeah, ranged first.
And obviously I'm going to cast Ice Knife.
What kind of monk are you? A druid monk. Ah, I see.
The best
Druid
kind of
monk.
monk.
That kind of monk. Anyway, so cast Ice Knife and to hit. Oh, for crying out loud.
That one!
Natural one!
Natural one! And you take
That
this ice
one.
knife and you go
First one.
to fire at the dummy, but you're not paying any attention and you've done your spell wrong, so much so that it's pointing backwards. That's when at Libero, and
Backwards.
Libero's like,
The poor marshals.
oh my gosh, how do I deal with you guys? And you fire off in the wrong direction, and Libero just sticks out his hands and tries to catch it. That's a 2! Roll damage.
Oh no.
No.
Wait, what?
Roll damage.
Wait, you
He
signed the
tried to catch
contract.
it.
Oh,
You hit
no.
the- no,
wait,
no, no.
wait,
No,
wait.
Libra doesn't count. Libra doesn't count. Only the detective.
I thought
Right?
he changed
Oh
into
wait,
detective.
never mind. He's detective.
Yeah.
He is the detective.
Oh,
And
no.
then it explodes. It explodes.
And you, roll the explosion damage.
8.
And guess what, everyone? Riri, Alaric, Aiden, please roll.
Does
I believe
Hades
it's-
just drop dead?
I believe it's like dexterity, is it?
I mean, isn't it intentional harm, not accidental, or something?
It's
I don't think
accidental.
there was any.
I
It
really
was
don't
in-
want to. I don't want to press this.
Yeah.
I do not want to roll a 2
Dexterity.
6-sided dice.
Riri,
Was this
Alaric,
what?
and Aiden, I need a dexterity saving throw from all three of you, please.
Oh
as you
no.
are in the way.
Oh, a deck save?
Natural one.
Oh my
Deck save.
god.
Fucking advantage of
So
deck
you
saves.
take-
Oh no.
Can you roll damage
Oh,
again?
no.
2d6 cold damage, please.
Okay. God damn it.
I just did.
This
Okay.
is amazing.
I
Were you
know.
right? How much damage?
8.
8. Oh, 8.
8.
And Libra is going to try and make that.
8 cold damage.
Let's see.
Ow.
And yeah, he quickly avoids just a little bit of the shadow. It just comes straight at him. But yeah.
It's half damage on the on a save, right?
And yeah, it's half damage on the split.
Okay, so 4.
And he just
What
kind
the
of
fuck's
shrugs
happening while
some
I
of
was
it off with his
gone?
cloak.
So who's injured?
Well, everyone's injured.
Yep.
Who's
Half
fully
damage on a
injured?
save.
Who's fully
I'm,
injured?
I'm fine.
4?
Are you fully injured, Polaris?
Yeah, I made the save. So
Yeah,
like,
Alara
we
made
took,
it.
like,
Okay.
And
So who does
4
it?
damage, right?
yeah.
It's half damage, yeah. Half
Is
damage
it
on a
only
save.
me?
I think it's only you. I got a 20 on the save.
Yeah,
so
only
I'm-
you get full
oh,
damage.
17 plus 3.
Aiden.
God damn it.
Hi, Glitch. You back?
Yeah,
You feeling better?
apparently I did have a heart attack, so go ahead.
That's not good.
I know. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, no shit.
Hmm.
You good?
Apparently it was with the, I don't know, I eat too much shit, too much insulin, basically, for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Insulin?
Yeah, I have too much of it.
So, borderline diabetes.
No, that's having high blood sugar and having no insulin. I have too much
Yeah.
of it.
You do know that there's often that change in blood sugar because the pancreas doesn't produce even, okay, some shit about pancreas not working. It can be either end of a fucking spectrum. Too much, too little, don't fucking matter. It's just not working properly.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, borderline diabetes.
Yeah, basically.
You good to play? Or are you just gonna listen? And everyone falls silent.
Full silence.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna join.
totally didn't fuck up the entire party.
It's not even diabetes. It's hypoglycemia or something like that. Basically, low blood sugar. I haven't eaten anything with sugar, so that's
Yeah,
it.
no shit.
I don't like the taste of it. That's the problem. I don't like it.
But yeah, Roy just stands there as everyone finishes doing their thing.
Anyway, okay, let's go. What is it?
Hypoglycemia.
It's me up.
Okay, so basically, Batkin, who they met earlier, where Aleph was the attendant, is actually Libero Batkin, the detective. He basically brought everyone to this courtyard, and they're all just firing off spells and stuff. And I believe Riri, Hades still have to do their close combat.
Yes.
Attacks.
Yeah.
Before that, I'm going to use my wild shape again and summon a chalice, and I'm going to heal me and Alaris. First, I'm going to heal Alaris. You heal for 6 points of healing, and I'm going to heal myself. Or
Thank you, friend.
you
4
see,
HP.
Oh, don't worry about me. I can heal myself.
where is it?
Of
God
course
damn
you
it!
can. What level is
Oh.
he? Level 4, right?
I think
No,
so.
he's actually level 5 at this point.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Jesus, we're all level 2. We're so weak.
Alright.
He can solo
Alright.
the entire thing.
Now
Probably.
he's an illusionist.
He's
He
not really a
can't.
fighter.
I feel like he could make a good enough persuasion check.
Me and Alaris can kill him with your chromatic orb and guiding bolt.
Most
Well,
likely.
he has like 2 counter spells. Like
I mean, you can't really, because the whole like contract.
No, counterspell only affects on. He can only do once per round.
No, the
Counterspell
contract.
one and the concept. But still, if it comes
Yeah.
to it,
Oh yeah,
Didn't I
mechanically easily.
mention that some of my spells were weird?
very.
Specifically, my disguise
Surely.
self spell. It's a bit strange.
Oh,
do tell.
Yeah, I thought it was 5th level.
you made a deal with the devil or something?
No,
Are you
it
secretly a
just
warlock?
doesn't seem to get triggered by any
Secret Blaze
magical effects. No matter. You'll see at some point what I mean.
Boy, are you secretly a channeling or something?
You're secretly a sorcerer using meta magic.
No, it's just my spell's just a little bit weird. I'm human.
Mm.
Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Come on.
So just turn to Hades. Do you want to do the close combat first, or should I?
I think I'll go ahead.
I
at
walk
least I can
20
hit them.
feet away from Hades.
20 feet is not enough.
Yes, no.
I watch
We all
with
stand
Katie.
back further.
I don't.
Damn. I mean, he does have the highest dexterity.
I have advantage on dex checks.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
Libero is just still standing there. And he's like, what's going to happen this time? So go ahead, make your
Let- let-
attacks.
Why
Let
they
me think of.
do the good old fury of blows.
Yeah, like
Wait.
4 attacks in a turn.
Wait, can I even do that?
Yeah, I mean, you're a monk. You should
You're
be
level
able to do
2,
fury
right?
of blows.
Should
Oh wait,
be
no,
able
you're
to.
a monk and druid. Never
And the
mind.
Jude.
Yeah. When do they get fury key points?
Kind of.
I forgot.
Kind of limited here.
Wild shape.
I think I shall go for a leg kick. Why not?
Okay, I believe that's an unarmed strike, so roll to
Yep.
hit an unarmed strike, please.
Ah, it's second level. They gain key. Never mind.
She.
And you just walk forward and take out your foot and give it a good whack directly in the face. Roll damage, please. Just damage. Say damage.
Bludgeoning them.
Yes.
7.
7. And you give it a very good whack because it goes
And?
all over. And you leave it clattering
And?
on the ground. Well, that's the only problem with it. We didn't really bind it down.
Could I do another hit? Because I'm a monk.
Yep. Bonus
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, bonus action.
Go ahead. Roll to hit. And
Just
then
gonna, I'm just gonna uppercut this dummy and try and take it off.
And yeah, you try and you go ahead to try and hit this dummy again. Roll to hit.
Two.
And you quickly
I think
hit
I
it
hit.
back up straight up into its sort of like where it's standing up again. And roll damage, please. And you do another 5 damage from the uppercut, and you see it just kind of launch just slightly up in the air after you just kind of bring it back up to where it's kind of just standing there. And next,
Ranged isn't my strong spot.
I can see that.
I notice as I brush off the ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's left to go, or do we want to finish there?
I am.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm gonna while Hades was doing his thing, I'm gonna go grab because you said it was like a barracks. I'm gonna go grab either a scimitar or a short sword.
Yeah. You go over to like this sort of weapon sort of pile, and you grab out the weapons you're looking for. They're a little bit old. Lieber just shouts, "Return those later, please.
Oh, what's her?
Return those weapons later, please."
Oh, yeah, sure.
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 Yes.
Roll
Sure.
deception.
Well, return the weapon. Sure.
Roll
There's the
deception,
contract.
library.
Yeah. You can steal.
Yeah.
So, roll deception.
Fine.
Yes, please.
That's a
No.
deception.
Oh
Yes,
no.
if you're gonna try and
Oh.
save him, go ahead. Roll deception.
Oh, no.
This will end so well.
Oh yes, this will
Come
be
on,
fun.
man.
An 8.
Ah,
And he just looks
Aw,
at you,
come on.
and he's like, "Seriously? Why do you even try lying to me? You're a terrible liar, as I told you the last time."
There's a
And-
theme.
Yes. As he just kind of looks at you, and he goes off over to you, and he's like, "You're gonna return those weapons, otherwise you're gonna have a very fun time fighting against me for a bit."
I'm sure I will. And then I walk off over to the dummy.
Oh, so you're gonna walk out, running out.
No, I just leave. I just climb the wall.
You're gonna try and climb the wall.
No.
It's mine now, bitch.
Yes.
You never see Ryan and Riri again.
True. Nah, okay. Since since Aiden used wild shape, I'll use rage. Then I guess take the short sword. That's a 19 to hit.
All right, that is.
Yep. Then that's 8 plus, so 10 damage. And then I'll use the second attack, rolls a nat 1.
And you first take out
So
your
I stab.
sword and just slash open the dummy once again, and it knits itself back together. And then you go to hit with your sword again, but as you go to hit, you kind of drag it right into the wall, and you just hear this grinding noise, and it goes, "Arrgh!" And you bring it back
Ah.
out.
Sorry, I broke your sword. I guess I gotta keep it.
And no, you have not broken the sword. It's just made a really grating sound against stone. It's like, why do I have to deal with you?
Okay, I turn to Libra and say, now it might not look like it. Now he might not look like it, but he was the one who dragged the Hydra straight through a portal and then bludgeoned it to death.
I'm okay. I'm better with moving targets.
And he goes to grab the sword and the stuff that he's taken, and go put them back with other weapons from Harry. Harry, you doing anything?
As we leave, I take back the weapon.
He hasn't
just
even
as we
showed you what
leave, I'll
he's
slide
gonna do next.
No. If we leave, like when we go to leave, I'll do it.
So Glitz, do you want to have a try fighting this thing? No, you've just been chilling with the party this whole entire time. So do you want to have a try attacking
Sure,
this
I
dummy?
guess I don't know.
Yeah, just go all out against this dummy.
Sure, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just attack it however you want.
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Yeah, I'll just do anything or something.
You're just gonna come up with something random to do?
Yeah, just do something random. Surprise me.
Okay, and everyone you see by just kind of waltz up to him, and he takes out his great sword and he lifts it over his head and tries to cut the dummy in two. And then he kind of brings it down, and as he's bringing this down, you see it's just going directly on a path towards the dummy, and it just kind of slashes into its head. And you see his great axe continuing all the way down as that's 12 damage as he splits like the front in half. And as he brings back out his great axe, you can see it magically knit together once again. Good job there, honestly. Well done.
Oh,
Anyway, I believe it is my turn, considering you guys were polite enough to show your attacks. I believe it's my turn. So, how crazy do we want this?
Dispel
Very.
magic on the dummy.
oh yeah, that's right. Trying to spell magic. I want to see the effects. And I'm going to, can I roll Arcana on like what he's doing throughout his performance?
Yeah, roll Arcana.
Yeah, see like exactly what he's doing. 12.
12, and you're watching him keenly as he quickly just casts guidance on himself. And you see him just kind of wait for a second. He's like, do I want to go all out defensively? Well, I guess you guys said you wanted to go for me to go full all out, didn't you?
First, we need to know each other's capabilities.
Oh yeah. Anyone want to go invisible?
Ooh,
I mean,
Yes.
I can.
yes.
Wait, why would we want to go invisible?
Well, I guess so. I think
What?
you'll seem fine. Come over here for a second.
What do you want to do?
So just stand over here, and you're willing to turn invisible for a bit, correct?
Sure.
And you see him start casting as you and Libra both turn invisible, just completely, and they're completely gone at this point. He's like, "Oh, here we go," and you see like a couple of little footprints just kind of appear on the grass in 3 different places, and you see a fourth
You vaporized them.
kind of off into the side.
I throw sand at their direction, see if it sticks on them.
And as you throw sand, you can see 3 figures and Iden just kind of standing off to the side. So instead of there being 1, there's now 3.
Wait, 3?
Yes. And
Well, that's an interesting spell.
Interesting.
it's like, oh,
So
you haven't seen
he-
anything yet. And you see him just continuously casting as this massive snowstorm comes down from above on the dummy, and it just kind of chills there as these snowballs keep pelting it, and it slowly starts getting battered around everywhere, and it just continues just getting battered and continuously battered by this flurry of just snowballs as you see Libra just reappear back, and you see like 3 copies of him off to the side. He's like, well, those are some of my capabilities. I can heal. I'm mostly illusion based. But no, I've got a few other things.
I'm going to throw a dagger and reappear. Just so I can do a fake attack motion so I reappear. I want to try something. Do me a favor and attack me with a spell.
Me?
That's not, they won't insta kill me, but just attack me with it.
Okay. And I am warning you, I did cast a cantrip earlier. If you're sure.
Sure.
Okay, and he grabs his weapons out before dashing straight at you with his 2 daggers.
Wait, a spell.
What? A spell?
A spell.
Oh, come on. I want to practice my other stuff.
Okay,
So
wait.
just-
Before. Yeah, no. Wait. Okay. I'm gonna, as an outer character, does the minor diversify energies reverse a dagger? Reverse an unknown
Minor
spell?
diversify energies. I believe that's the one that changes it, correct?
Yeah, the nature, yes.
So,
Does it affects
yeah,
non-spells?
yeah, affects non-spells.
Okay, then never mind, actually do it.
Okay, if you're sure, as he
Yep.
just quickly grabs out his dagger and tries to slash directly into you.
If it hits, I'm going to cast minor diversify energies.
It's a reaction, so you wouldn't know.
Alright then, I'll just cast it.
Yep, and roll a d20, please.
Yes. Yes, that's an 11.
At 11, and you just quickly see it slash directly into Iden, and all the wounds just heal up on Iden completely. He's like, wait a second. What?
I have tricks too. And my wounds just heal.
Honestly, pretty cool. Never seen anything like that before. So,
Ethereal exclusive.
yes, as I've seen. But yeah, anyone need some healing?
I'm already good.
Yeah, you're good.
Really? Do you need healing?
I'm only 4 hit points down. I'm fine.
Yeah, if you're sure. Hades, do you need healing?
I'll be fine. Just a scratch.
Okay, then I guess we'll head off. And this is where I'm going to leave it for today's session.
Oh. But
Nice.
before we go,
Yep.
what time is it?
The sun's probably midday.
Midday.
So 12.
Well,
And before the session ends, Hades whips out his bagpipes and starts playing as loud as he can.
Oh, fucking hell. Fuck off. I can hear it.
Monastery
Hades already does this
tradition.
in real life. I hate it.
Okay.
Hades already does this in real life. I'm not one that can. He already slaps me with this.
Even in D&D, you will not skip the bagpipes.
Oh,
No.
he has blasted my fucking ears off like 3 times like this month because of bagpipes.
Not.
Scotland forever.
Okay. And if for the
Do I have
viewers,
to make a sleight of hand? Do I have to make a sleight of hand check for the scimitar?
yeah, go ahead at disadvantage, considering Libra
At
is not going to
disadvantage.
try to do it.
It's 18 with disadvantage, yeah.
disadvantage.
And
Goddamn.
he's
Yeah, I
he's
lowest
just
I got
looking
was-
at
was
you
a
with a
13.
frown on his face, and he's like, "Come on, put it away, put it back." And he's just looking at you. I'm weary. And he's like,
I said I'd do it.
"Put it back." So you,
I did it.
yeah,
I failed.
you put it back,
No.
and he's still looking at you, and he's like, "Put it back. Otherwise, we're gonna have to get."
Yeah, I just do not care.
And he's like,
Keeps walking.
Yep.
"Well, then," and you just see him just quickly and dash straight over to you,
Mm-hmm.
and his raven is watching from above, and he's like, he grabs out his manacles and tries to cuff you. Roll,
Okay.
roll acrobatics if you're gonna avoid this, please.
Acrobatics? Okay.
When he-
That's a nat 1.
Oh.
And that's 7 from Libera, and he just quickly dashes over to you and cuffs you up, and he's like, he drags you over and just kinda uncuffs like one side and puts you on a post so you can't move. He's like, and he just searches through your pockets until he finds the scimitar and like takes it off, and he's like, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you, aren't I?
There's dexterity to break to just leave.
Strength.
Nah. No, you don't have to keep an eye on me. I'd prefer if you didn't.
Uh-huh. I'm just gonna leave you cuffed up for a bit. And he uncuffs you
Okay.
from the pole and just he keeps you
A strength
cuffed.
check to break.
Yeah, you can do a strength check to try because he's taken
14.
off. 14.
It's a 20 to break chains, isn't it?
And yeah, it's fairly high to break chains, and yeah, you're just kind of struggling here to break them off, and he just drags you along with him. As I assume you guys are going to attempt to follow him to leave on your little quest.
Well, we should rest first.
It's about
Probably.
midday. We'll rest on the
Yeah.
way.
This'll end well.
Shouldn't be too
Alright.
dangerous on the way out.
Does anyone get any benefits for a short rest besides health?
I gain my wild shape back.
Oh, you get it on a short rest?
I get a spell.
Yes.
Oh, I get range on a long rest. That's dumb.
Yeah, only wild shape. And I burn quite a lot of spells during this trial.
You did.
Yeah,
But so the wizard still has the scimitar on him, right?
No, he put it back, and he's just dragging you
Ah.
along. And that's where we shall end the session finally. Goodbye.